here with Geoff Tabin, very valuable ophthalmologist who does work in third world countries as well as the fourth person to climb the 7 summits. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So when you first started climbing and mountaineering and visiting these countries like Nepal, I mean, did you ever foresee yourself sort of marrying the two things?
You know, it's just been a little bit of luck, a little bit of serendipity.
Yeah.
I first went to Asia as a climber and to Africa as a climber.
Sure.
And then I returned after I finished medical school, and I found that there was very little that an individual doctor could do. Most of the problems I was facing were overwhelming public health issues. You know, clean water is such an enormous problem for our planet.
Right.
Just basic hygiene, basic vaccinations. And I would have children come in who were totally dehydrated with horrible diarrhea.
Yeah.
And I'd rehydrate them, give them antibiotics.
Yeah.
Then 2 weeks later, the same child would come back just as sick. And I watched children dying of things that were so easy to care for in America.
Right.
But then I saw this miracle of cataract surgery.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of to bring back a loop, it's just sort of the
Yeah.
luck and serendipity. When I was in medical school, I was invited on a trip to make the first ascent of the east face of Mount Everest. And I was trying to get time off from medical school, and I applied for a leave of absence. And a few days later, I got a call from a man who said, "Is this Geoff Tabin?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "You're an idiot." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yeah, you're a complete moron. I can't believe Harvard Medical School ever accepted anyone as stupid as you. There's no way you'll get a leave of absence to go climbing."
Right.
But I'm an ophthalmologist interested in whether high-altitude retinal hemorrhaging can be used as a prognosticator of high-altitude cerebral edema. And anyone with the intelligence to get into this school should know that if you apply to do research, Harvard will give you credit.
Right.
And let's talk about your research project.
Right.
So I was able to stay in medical school by doing this research project on high-altitude retinal hemorrhaging. And then after I saw the miracle of cataract surgery, I said, wow, this is a place where I might be able to make a difference.
Yeah.
And the research actually helped me get right back into a residency and train.
And into your life's work.
And our program's really not about me going over and doing cataract surgery, but about empowering local systems. And it's creating the infrastructure as well as training the doctors, but also training nurses, technicians, assistants in creating a system. Initially, we called it the Himalayan Cataract Project because cataracts were about 85% of the blindness in Nepal, which is where I started working. There was an estimated backlog of 200,000 blind people in Nepal, with 40,000 new blind people per year.
Wow.
And only one doctor in the whole country doing state-of-the-art eye care,
Yeah.
and less than 15,000 surgeries being done.
Right.
And through education development, we started out teaching kind of one doctor at a time, enabling them to do good cataract surgery, and taking our best young cataract surgeons, sending them either to America or Australia for subspecialty fellowships. And then we started a full ophthalmology residency program, which is now linked with our program at the University of Utah. And last year, Nepali ophthalmologists did 212,000 cataract surgeries.
Wow.
And the standard is fantastic. It's as good as what you would get in New Mexico.
Right.
If you move from one end of the country to the other, we've also have a 3-year program to train ophthalmic assistants after 11th grade, a 1-year program for ophthalmic nurses after nursing school, and we basically have reached throughout the country. And our subspecialists, I'm a corneal transplant specialist at the University of Utah, and I've now trained 5 corneal transplant specialists. And when I go over, I'll teach them what's state-of-the-art, what I'm currently doing is the cutting edge in America.
Right.
That takes me an hour, and I'll come back 6 months later, and they're doing it better in 35 minutes. So unfortunately, as much as I love Nepal and Bhutan, the quality of care there has now reached a state where I'm really no longer as much needed.
Right.
I should also mention that I've been very, very fortunate in my local partners. My main partner, Sandik Ruit, is really one of the great minds in all of medicine that I've had the privilege of meeting.
Yeah.
And he really has designed
Yeah.
a lot of the systems of care, systems of cost recovery, where we were able to provide about 60% free care, and the 40% who pay subsidize the fray.
Right.
And so our big goal now is to try and transpose the system that's been so successful in Asia to Africa.